All right, everybody, I'm really excited to be sitting down here with Jim. Jim is a double stacker. We've been working together. Actually, he's a graduate from the DoubleStack program, so we worked together the full 8 weeks. And he has such an exciting story to tell. And he's got his own business. He lives in a tropical paradise. He just spent a weekend in a mansion. So lots of really cool things to talk about today. So Jim, why don't you go ahead and maybe introduce yourself a little bit, talk a little bit about your business, what kind of things you do, and just kind of let us get to know you.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm Jim Kozubal. My business is called Candor Multimedia. I'm basically I chose multimedia because I'm doing everything from drone photography to Facebook ads to website design, digital marketing, the entire gambit. So how that came to be is pretty interesting. My wife owns a consulting business in the seafood industry, and I was working as the vice president of her company doing some of the operations and logistics and some of the marketing. And what we found was some of her customers needed social media. They needed website maintenance. We needed website maintenance at our company. And so I kind of felt like we had something that people needed, and I didn't want to just be pigeonholed by just the seafood industry. I wanted to be able to get out and help anybody who needed it in those arenas. So instead of continuing to operate just under the Candor seafood umbrella and just be focused on the seafood niche, I started Candor Multimedia. So we actually have a boat we named Candor Vita, the Candor Life, because what my wife and I strive to do is be very direct, very open, very honest, and tell people the things they don't want to hear, because that's where real success comes from. When someone comes to you for help, they need to hear what they need. They don't need to hear what they want to hear just so they keep paying you. You need to get them results, and the best way to get them results is with candor in all aspects of the work. So that's where we have those two companies. And so it's funny, they say when momentum starts, it's hard to slow it down if you just stick with it. And so I started that company and wasn't really sure, wasn't having a lot of success. I had a couple of customers that were from the seafood business, but it was kind of slow. And then I got a call from a friend who used to be the CFO at a company that I worked for as the IT director. I have 20 years of IT experience. I'm an Air Force veteran. I've tried everything there is to do to make money, and entrepreneurship has always been there, but this is the first time I've really kind of stretched my legs with it. So a friend called me and said, hey, I have an investor who is interested in starting this big pharmaceutical company, but he wants to try out this coffee company that he's invested in first. And this particular coffee company has a great story. They have an unbelievable product, unbelievable processes, but no one knows who they are. So we tried to just go through Facebook ads, and that didn't really work because no one knows who they are, and coffee is such a commodity. And then they flew me out to LA. And with Candor, I stood up and I told them, your process is too big. It's too important to keep fiddling around with this. We need to hire a branding agency and go big with this. I said, you guys, I don't know if you know anything about coffee, but I said, you guys need to stand up, have the balls to take the fourth wave, claim the fourth wave, and then back it up. I stood in front of their entire board of directors and said that to them. And there were a lot of them. They had a whole bunch of itty-bitty little investors. And so they decided that was the right thing to do. And so they brought me back, which tripled my retainer, brought on another agency that I'm working side by side with, who has more people than I have. They have analysts and all of the other things with that we can do for when funnels aren't working and whatnot. We brought them on as well. And then we also hired a branding agency that just recently grew a competitor to $50 million in a year. So that's the biggest part of my business right now, but I've also taken on a lot of education. So that's kind of where this goes. What gave me the confidence to do this was, first and foremost, my partnership with you, Lee, as a mentor. So joining DoubleStack, having you to text late at night, hey, I'm freaking out. What are we doing? You're like, shoot me an email. We'll get on in the morning. And the next thing in the morning, we're talking about a strategy instead of emotion. So to have someone take you out of your business for a second, remind you that they're backing you up, that they've had success with this already and they have a blueprint to follow. Get rid of the emotion and let's talk strategy and how we're going to do this, to literally walking step by step to developing the proposal to put it in front of the customer to close your first retainer and start moving forward. So what that mentorship did, what that relationship did, was give me the confidence and get me stepping over imposter syndrome somewhat. It's never, I don't think anybody ever truly gets over imposter syndrome. The second you get on the phone with someone, you start thinking, man, if I close this, I've got to give them results. And I think that actually forces people into a strange place where they go, man, I don't know if I can provide the results for this, so maybe I shouldn't close them, right? So you almost keep yourself from getting new business with your own mindset. So that's the other piece of the whole thing, is all the strategies in the world are nothing without a network, without a community, and without you personally having the right mindset. So that's kind of where Candor Multimedia came from. That's where we're at now, and those are the things that are working for us, is our community, our investment in ourselves, the money we've spent on education, networking, relationships, and helping to develop mindset. So that's where we're at right now.
Well, that's a really cool story, and I really appreciate what you were saying about, you and me working together and everything. That was really kind. Thank you.
It was the truth.
Well, let me ask you this. What were things kind of like maybe before we started working together? Like when you were trying to find some clients, you were, kind of exploring different opportunities, I guess, but maybe not having the success, or things weren't really performing at the level you wanted?
So it's funny you say that, because I was having a conversation with a friend the other day that people say, man, I wish I could get this size of a client who's this much in retainer and provide this kind of results. And when the phone rang from my buddy George talking about Reborn, I can tell you it was purely terror. Honestly, it was, holy cow, here it is, right? This is the opportunity, but I have no idea how to do any of this. But I've always tried to live, at least in everything else that I've ever done, by what Richard Branson says. And that's, if someone asks you if you know how to do something, say yes, figure it out later. So that's when I realized I owe this to this. They're going to give me this opportunity. I owe it to them to invest in myself, not only to me to invest in myself, but to invest in this for them. So I'm actually bringing true strategies and real education and experience to the table to give them the results they deserve. So that's when I ran into your ad on Facebook, and I loved what you had to say. I watched your webinar. I scheduled a call. You sounded like a friend on the phone. You sounded genuine. One thing I will warn listeners off of on these Facebook ads that you run into, this is the land of gurus today. And I would say 60% of them have never done anything that they're teaching. They learned the course from somewhere else. So you can hear it. When you're having a conversation with someone like Lee, what you want to listen to is, do they genuinely sound like they want to help you? Or do they sound like they just want to sell you a video course and then go away after you give them $3,000? Where what you're really looking for in these courses is mentorship. Someone you can actually communicate with after the courses are over. So these courses were invaluable to me. You should see the website I built for the coffee company on the Make theme. It will blow your mind. There's your basic strategy. I recreated the website that a company I'm sure paid probably $200,000 or $300,000 for, with the Make theme. And theirs is completely proprietary. I looked at all the tools they're using. They're not even using WooCommerce. They have a proprietary backend on it. But with WooCommerce, with your video course, I built an unbelievable website. So, which, by the way, I asked for the true value of the website instead of an Upwork fee, of $45 an hour. So I got my value out of our relationship with you, out of that confidence that I knew I could build them an amazing website. So I'll share that with you after the call if you want to check it out, because I can't stop looking at it. It's like buying a new car. I keep going to this, check it out. So those video courses have their value, but the mentorship with that base foundation of education is what's critical. And with DoubleStack, I had that. So I had someone to freak out to, and you could square me away and put it back on the wheel. So that's that.
So you mentioned pricing and charging what you're really worth, not just the Upwork fee. Did you find that, by working together, you were able to increase your pricing pretty successfully?
Yeah, and I would say, I don't necessarily say I was increasing my pricing, but bringing my pricing to the level that I'm worth.
Right.
I've turned down, a guy offered me $5,000 to build him a website last week, and I turned him down because he has no marketing budget. I asked him where, he said he's going to be drop shipping. I said, from where? He said, well, all over the place. I said, that's not a business plan. I said, that's a website and idea, and those are a dime a dozen. And I said, listen, I don't want to build you a $5,000 website and then have you go tell everybody Jim built me a $5,000 website and no one ever goes to it. Because I know what my real value is. My real value isn't being a website designer. That's awesome, right? That has its own value. But the real value is in reputation management, in bringing traffic to this site. And if not running Facebook ads for them, having the resources that can. So you're literally, as a WordPress developer, building a website, becoming a division of your customer's business. You're becoming a division of the business that they don't have. Then you also have to know what are they ready for? Are they ready to scale to what they're saying they can do? Can they close a customer? Do they have what it takes when you start bringing them leads to start making money? So I asked you this lead when we first started because the coffee company wanted me to come in on an equity basis. And you said, well, be careful with that. And we talked about it. And I would say this, I think equity is a great thing, but only with an established business that's already got customers that's just looking to scale. Because then they already have an ad budget, they can close. So when you start bringing them leads, you're creating real value for them. They're going to get you paid. So it's a symbiotic relationship. Equity is never about, can I start up your business for free? Don't ever do that. And so I literally turned down a guy who said, I've got $5,000, you can build me a website. I'm more about the relationship of my company than getting revenue to build a website. Because this guy would have ran all over town, and I live in an island. So he would run all over town and told people, Jim, I spent $5,000 and I don't have any customers. So that's something I learned. And more importantly, have the ability to say, I know there's going to be a new opportunity, so I don't have to worry about every single customer that comes to me, no matter how much they want to pay me for a website. Because it's about the whole return. And got all of that from you and from mentors, my education, and it all started with DoubleStack. So
I love what you're saying. What you're talking about, what I'm hearing you say is the difference between selling and serving, which is something we talk a ton about. Like if you had just been out there selling websites, you would have said, hey, $5,000, I'll sell, I got a website, I'll sell it to you for $5,000. Awesome. But what you're saying is, hey, you know what? Even if he spent the $5,000 on the website, it's really not going to serve him at the level he wants because he's not going to get the ultimate results for his business. And so you're showing up now with this heightened level of integrity saying, hey, you know what? This isn't really going to be the best solution for you. Once you get things in place, like once you have a budget for marketing and have the ability to kind of have more of this foresight, let's talk again at that point maybe. But until you're 100% confident that you're able to do what's really necessary, there's nothing for sale. And that's the difference between selling and serving. And I love what you're saying. And doesn't it feel great to be able to say, hey, you know what? Come back to me when you're ready. And until then, there's going to be plenty of other opportunities because the scarcity is people like you, Jim. And there's so few people out there that are willing to say, I'm not going to take on a $5,000 project because you're not ready for it yet. Everybody's out just kind of, really hungry for that kind of work. And they don't have the foresight to think, hey, there's so many people. The scarcity is really on the side of the people that we're working for. Because where are they going to find people that are like you, that are going to come out there and tell them what they really need to hear and prepare them for the results that they're really looking for.
Yeah, I actually lead in with something that you taught me in, my initial dealings with DoubleStack and the conversations in the courses, is that nobody wants a website. No one cares about a website. They want customers. They want dollar bills. That's what they really want. So the very first thing I ask is, when someone comes to me, hey, can you build me a website? Yeah, I can. But if you could get more customers without one, would you want me to build you a website? And the answer is, every single time, I could care less about a website. I want more customers. So the reality is this: a website without, let's just say, marketing, and we'll put the big umbrella on it, without some sort of SEO or marketing or whatever you want to do to get traffic to that website, isn't even as valuable as a billboard. And billboards today are useless because people don't see them. They don't write down numbers. They don't care. So at least a billboard, there's people driving by it every single day. And so let's say later on the day, when they're retargeted by an ad on Facebook, they go, oh, I saw that billboard. You're a little bit warmer of an audience. So a website is less valuable because there's no billboard to get you to go to it. Unless you're at a networking event and someone specifically says, go to my website, or hands you a business card. Well, let's just talk about where I live. I live in the Florida Keys. There aren't networking events. And when they are, they're contractors or whatever. And they all have these, it's a drinking fest. Everybody already has their customers. They have their vendors. They don't want to talk about new business. They're just there to associate with one another, to socialize. So that's the first thing I asked. If you could get new customers without a website, would you? And then I say, okay, what are you going to do? What do you want to do to get customers after I give you the website? And they all do what I just did. I don't know if I knew. So the answer is, when you come to Candor Multimedia, I'm not going to build you a website. I'm going to build you a deliverable that in the end brings you new customers. And it's a system. It's a platform. It includes business consulting, like this guy who wanted to do the website for drop shipping. That had a business consulting component to it, because I was then going to show him where he was going to drop ship from, not just all over the place. I was going to get him Google reviews. I was going to get him traffic to the site. We needed an ad spend to get traffic to the site. We needed to build top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom of funnel to warm up an audience. And people just don't understand what all this takes. And all the money that I've spent on mentorship, and I've literally got, put it this way, I'll tell you right now, I spent $10,000 on education. And that was started December 12th, starting with DoubleStack, and many others after that. I got every penny back. It's March. I've earned every penny back, and it's through one customer.
That's awesome.
So that's how critical that the education and the mentoring and the networking component is that you invest in yourself to, like, Lee, I don't know if you noticed, but our conversations are at a very different place than when I first met you. My vocabulary has completely changed. My interest in customers has changed. And like I think when I first met you, I talked about, I need $10,000 a month or whatever. And that's not the view anymore. The view is, I need this type of a customer with this budget and this focus so my company can move forward. So that's how much my company's changed since literally December 12th.
That's fantastic. So one of the things that you just said that really stood out to me was that so much has changed, like from the way that things were before to the way things are now. And so the big thing that I hear so many times, whether it's like through people in the Facebook group or people that call me up or whatever, is they just don't feel like they can make the shift, or for whatever reason, they just can't take that next step forward. And so was that like a big decision for you? Like, I know you said you saw the Facebook ad, you watched the webinar, we got on the phone. Like, what was that decision-making process for you to say, hey, you know what? Let's do this. Was that like a hard decision? Why don't you talk about that a little bit?
No, it was what was in my brain. So I had this coffee company that needed my help, and I I knew some things we were going to do for him. I knew, we were going to run Facebook ads, and I knew I needed to learn how to do that. But I really wanted to get someone who I knew could not just help me, but could help them once we got started. And I needed someone who was successful already. I knew I just needed to not reinvent the wheel. So to change the game, I was sitting there. I'll never forget. It was probably 11 o'clock at night, and I'm scrolling through my Facebook feed, and up pops the DoubleStack ad. And I read the ad, and I watched the thing, and I did the webinar. And I was like, this guy sounds like he knows what he's doing. Let me just see. Let me just get on the phone and see if there is help out there, because I didn't even know if there was. And then I spoke to you, and I said, this sounds like he wants to help. He knows what he's doing. I have complete access to him for mentoring calls. I can actually, they wanted me to help them fix up their Shopify store. That's basically a WordPress type of thing. So this has given me a lot of the tools I need to get started with the coffee company to really do a great job for them. And in one of the first videos, you talk about mindset. And that was not something I thought about. I had done a Tony Robbins event several years ago where, that was the whole thing. Get everybody pumped up and rocking. And that changed my life for the better. And that without feeding that, it goes away, right? And I kind of went back to where I was. It wasn't so much about mindset anymore. It was more fear and, a place of not a place of abundance, but a place short of resources. So that's a scary place to work from. And they say scared money don't make money. So what I was after was a mentor who made me feel confident that if something came up that I didn't know, I had a place to go for the answer. I was pretty confident I knew a good amount of what we needed to do to get started. But if something came up that I didn't know, I needed a place to go. So that's where you came in. And my mindset has been probably what I've spent the most time working, which is what allows you to make that shift from $45 an hour to what my hourly rate is now. I actually took a course that taught me how to calculate that. So I now know what my pricing needs to be to actually be profitable, not just to get a sale. But to be profitable, I need to make $156 an hour, and that's at a minimum. So I learned that, and then mindset. So I literally, other than the past couple of days, and you guys probably get mad at me when I say this, but it's been in the 70s, so it's been a little cold. But every morning I get up and get on my jet ski and go for what I call a wealth ride. And I take it out into the bay. I'm out there for 10 minutes just thinking about what the future is going to be like. Imagining the 2 sales guys that I hire, that I'm going to change their lives based on, $1,000 a sale because I need 8 new customers a month. And just envisioning what this business will be like and what I call priming my frequency. So coming home to, if somebody gets on my case, I can go, listen, it's cool. We'll figure it out, instead of me freaking out. And I have the mindset to power through the day. And it's done everything from make it easier to find a parking spot wherever I want to go to, to talking to customers on the phone and telling them what they need to do to be successful, and turning down a $5,000 website when I could, use the revenue.
Yeah. A lot of times I often say things like, you see what you're looking for. And if you're looking for negative things, that's the kind of stuff that tends to come your way. If you're looking for, positive things, if you have like that vision in your mind of where you want to go, those are the types of things that you end up accomplishing. And even if you don't believe it, here's just a quick, simple example that I think just really draws this out. Like, I don't know, a few months ago, I thought I wanted to get a Toyota Tacoma. I was just looking for a truck. I don't live on an island. I live kind of like on a farm almost. We got 15 acres.
Okay.
Back. And it would be nice to have just not a huge truck, just a little truck. And I had never, prior to wanting a Tacoma, I'd never, nobody drives. Who drives a Tacoma out here? Nobody. And then all of a sudden I start wanting one. And I start, everybody's driving a Tacoma. You just see what you're looking for. Yeah. And you just is it there already? Are you attracting it because you're looking for it? Who knows? The reality is that what you're looking for, what you have in your mind, that's the stuff that comes your way. And if you're mindful about that, if you're intentional about that, then you can have good things in your mind and good things come your way. And that's kind of like the the bottom line. That's the summary of how that works. So that's awesome to hear you talking about that. That's huge. And because one of the questions I was going to ask you was like, what are the big picture changes that you've made? And obviously it's mindset. So let me ask you this. What made you decide that like it was time to take the change? Like what made you decide, hey, I'm not going to just dig in and do this on my own anymore. I'm going to actually reach out to people that can help and be part of a community and a program and reaching out to people that have success. How do you get the, what made you say now is the time?
So that, I don't know if you noticed, I put the Richard Branson thing out there, but I'm kind of a guy, I'm into quotes. I like things that I can see and that are tangible. And another one is Albert Einstein's definition of insanity, is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So that's always at the forefront of my mind. And I kind of looked back on what I was doing, and I had started a couple of businesses that I really didn't put enough effort into. They were great ideas, but I didn't really know what to do. And I realized what I was doing wrong with those businesses is trying to do it on my own. And, I've watched all the people around me who are ultra successful do it with a business partner or a mentor or some form of a relationship or many, many relationships. And I hear people talk about two things all the time: mindset and relationships. That no matter what business you're in, no matter what strategy you use, with the wrong mindset, it won't work. And without relationships, it won't work. So I realized I wasn't going to go out and get customer relationships where I live. I would have had to buy $10,000 in plane tickets just to fly to Orlando, so it would have been, it was unfeasible. So I realized what I needed to do was hire educators who have their own mindset to help. Like you bleed, I want to help, I want to help, I want to help. You don't bleed, pay me, pay me, pay me, I'm a guru. And you can, man, when you start to work with mentors, you can see those people coming a mile away. Those people that are just like, here's my video course that I recorded in 4 hours. It's $5,000 and you have access to it for life. No, I need that video course to give me the vocabulary to then have mentorship calls with you. So when I realized that I had been spending, I've always been an eagle. I've always flown really high, but solo. And then, I met my wife. I didn't get married till I was 42 years old. And that's kind of where the changes all started. And I realized that this business, I wanted it to succeed more than I ever did before. I realized I was going to need help. And that was pretty hard. It was Air Force intelligence. That's kind of a solo thing. You don't do that. Nothing you do in intelligence is as a team. You're an analyst. And so all of those things, I realized I needed to start doing things in a team. And I needed to start building my own team. And you would not believe the team that I have. It starts with you, Lee. I have 2 guys who have become very good friends who are my Facebook ad mentors. I have Valerie from your group who's helping me develop this website for Reborn Coffee. So that's where I was able to actually go to them and say, listen, I can build this website because I have a rock star backing me up for anything I don't know how to do. It'll get done. And that came from your group. So it's not, DoubleStack isn't just a relationship with you. It's that whole entire community. And Valerie stepped up to help me to do this one. So it was clear that I needed to do it. It wasn't easy because I don't like to ask for help. I like to do everything on my own. And I realized I wasn't going to do this at this level that everybody needs to go to without help. So that was when I decided I gotta go get it.
That's awesome. So as we're kind of wrapping things up, let me ask you just one last question. So if you could give somebody just like one piece of advice that would kind of help people get their business going, maybe get their mindset straight, or, like so many people are out there thinking, oh, I'm making like $2,000-$3,000 per month. I'm barely making enough to stay in business. I'm working ridiculous hours. Maybe they're even trying to transition from a job that they hate into their own business that they own. And they're just feeling kind of overwhelmed, stuck, frustrated, alone. All of these are situations that people will talk to me about all the time. Or they'll be like, man, I just don't have the available cash kind of sitting on my bank. What I really need to do is go win 2 or 3 more clients, and then I'll get the help that I need. Of course, the whole point of the help is to win the clients, right? So with that kind of in mind, what kind of tips or advice might you give somebody to like really help them like genuinely have their dream job, live the life that they're really meant to live, and really feel fulfilled in doing that?
So I would say the most important thing is to definitely invest in yourself and invest in your business. If your mindset is, I'll go get the help after the next couple of clients, but the reality is your fear is, I don't have the money sitting in the bank. After those 3 clients, you're still not going to have the money in the bank because you're still going after the same type of clients. So what you got to do is look inward, look at your business. Is your business ready to receive this next level? Do you have all the systems in place? Do you have a profit and loss statement set up? Do you have a CRM that's fully functional? So look at your business just from purely that standpoint. And then whatever's not ready, get it ready. Perfect example. I'm getting ready to try to grow this business to $10,000 a month. And I'm staring at an email in my inbox from the state of Florida telling me to redo my annual report. And I'm not doing it. I'm like, how does that even make sense to, let's just call it the universe, that I'm trying to build this huge business, but I haven't filed my annual report for 2019? That's not going to work. So from that technical standpoint, make sure your business is ready. Then invest in yourself and get over whatever it is that's holding you back from asking for that dollar that you want confidently. I call it imposter syndrome. You may be really, really good at building websites. You may be really confident, but there's something you're fearing that you're not asking for what you know is what it's worth. You're afraid they won't pay it. They won't buy the website, without thinking, how do I show them confidently the real value in what I'm bringing? How do I talk to them? How do I say to somebody as a website developer, when they come to me, do you really want a website or do you want customers? Mm-hmm. And if you could get customers without how do you say that when it's your product, right? It's like standing at a car dealership and your Toyota Tacoma, and you walk in all starry-eyed about a Toyota Tacoma, and I say, are you sure you really want this? Yeah, that's hard to do, but it is the foundation of the rest of the conversation, right? I'll build you the coolest website you've ever seen, but you're going to pay me $3,000, $5,000 for it, because you're going to have 5-star Google reviews, at least one every day. And if you look at guitar lessons in Virginia, like you always say, who are you going to hire? The guy with the reviews. Having the education to know to hand your phone to someone and ask them that. Look at this. Guitar lessons in Virginia, who are you going to hire? So it's literally investing in yourself, believing that once you have the confidence and the mindset and the systems in place, it's not hard to ask for $5,000 because you've told the customer what they need to do and how you're going to get them 10 in return. Their $5,000 is now an investment in their business, not a cost. So you go from being a cost center to a profit center. It's easy to ask for that much money, and people will pay you. I always say, if I could give someone $1 million for $10, I'd do it all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. And that's the confidence you got to bring to the conversation, is that I'm going to make you money. I'm not going to build you a website. I'm going to bring you what you need, customers, and I'm going to show you how to do it. And that all comes from networking, relationships, mentorship, investment in yourself, and mindset.
That's fantastic. I've really enjoyed the conversation, Jim. I'm all energized now because of all the things that you said. This is really great. So if you've been listening to this and you've been enjoying the stuff that Jim has had to say, and you want to do this stuff too, and you want to talk about whether or not this is a good fit for you, head over to doublestack.net/call and let's get on the phone and see if it's a good fit, because it's not a great fit for everybody. For example, if all you want to do is be an awesome JavaScript developer or something like that, this isn't for you, right? What we're talking about is being like a business development consultant and having the technical skills to pull off the stuff that you're consulting about. That's what the point of the DoubleStack is. There's 2 components. And like Jim was just saying, it's all about driving results and business outcomes for the clients that you're working with. And so it's not enough just to be able to install a WordPress theme and mash up a few plugins. That doesn't help anybody. That doesn't actually drive the results. What you want to do is you want to make sure you have the technical tools in place that have business outcomes associated with them. So we'll walk through a bunch of those. You want to make sure you have the marketing strategies in place so that when you're out there, you have confidence, like Jim was just saying, to ask for a $5,000 website. And if you've been selling $500 websites, there's some mindset work we're going to need to do so you're comfortable going from $500 to $5,000 websites. And so marketing strategies, how do you do that? And then the third thing, like Jim also was just talking about, was business structure. Let's make sure that you've got a business structure that's going to give you the opportunity to actually succeed for yourself and for your clients. And that's going to mean charging enough to set up the tools that actually make a difference. And it's going to mean getting monthly retainers in place so that you can keep working with your clients and continue to drive the results that they're really looking for. So if that sounds like the direction you want to go over to doublestack.net/call. We'll get on the phone for like 45 minutes and really dive into your situation and see if this is going to be a good fit for you. And if so, we can talk about working together and like, I'll be there to help you implement the stuff we're talking about. And if not, if for whatever reason it doesn't seem like it's the way to go, then, that's fine too. It's totally fine too. But at least you'll have some clarity on like your price points, your target market, what kind of vision that you might have for your business. And then, kind of like Jim was just saying, like if you're not ready yet, come back when you are, or, at least just kind of benefit from the conversation, just that one time. So it's been awesome talking to you, Jim. And I'm going to continue to follow you on Facebook and watch your pictures of dolphins swimming alongside you on the jet ski in your tropical paradise. And also with all of the tons of new business. I saw you posting like pictures of champagne bottles and stuff, celebrating all of your business victories too. So that's going to be awesome. So thanks for showing up. It was great talking to you today. And again, Jeff, if you want to talk to me about, kind of getting the kind of results that Jim's having, head over to doublestack.net/call. We'll do that. And until then, high five for the weekend, and see you guys soon.
What I wanted to say on the call that I didn't was that, that even that 45-minute strategy call, the first one is a game changer. Just that first call with you changes the way, like, wow, there is help out there. Whether I go for it right now or not, it exists and it's real. That was a big deal for me.